All right. Hello. How is everyone today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. We have a great interview ahead for you today. We are with some special people, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, I'm Valerie Stoddard. I am a vision teacher here at Richwoods.
Hello, I'm Aiden Post, a senior here at Booker.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Rear. I am a teacher of the visually impaired and a certified orientation and mobility specialist.
Perfect. We have a great conversation ahead of us where we're going to be talking a little bit about individuals that have visual impairments and what we as a community and as the standard of excellence, what we can do to kind of help those individuals to have the best experience possible. So, Mrs. Reader, what does it mean to be visually impaired?
Yeah, so to be visually impaired, it means that you have difficulty seeing. So it's pretty much a whole spectrum, right? So we have people with low vision, there's people who are completely blind, there's some neurological visual impairments as well, but it's an entire spectrum.
Image shows types of visual impairments. 1. Visual impairment. 2. Blind. 3. Legal blindness. And 4. Partial sight.
So if you know one blind person or one person with low vision, you only really know that one person. Everyone is different.
What are some of the tools that people with those visual impairments use to travel safely?
One of them specifically is a cane. Usually you just sweep it on the ground and it helps you feel on the floor around you. And then if all of a sudden it drops, then you know there's no floor there.
Are there any other tools that help you to navigate and travel around?
None that I currently know of. But you could have a guide dog.
Okay.
And if you're like walking somewhere, a dog has eyes too. So if they could see for you and need you.
That's awesome.
And we're kind of in the learning process together as a team. So in the future, there's more tools like a GPS, different apps for the visually impaired. But yes, long white cane and a guide dog is definitely a tool.
Can you guys tell us a little bit more about the long white cane? I know Peoria has some history with that, right?
Sure does. So Aiden, I don't know if you know this, but the first long white cane ever invented was in Peoria, Illinois.
Visual is the first white cane displayed with description held at the Peoria Riverfront Museum.
So on our certification exams that I have to take, I was sitting in Peoria and it actually says, where is the first long white cane? I had to check Peoria, Illinois. So the first long white cane was invented in the 1930s, and with the help of the Peoria Lions Club, they actually initiated the ordinance for people with visual impairments be protected by the law whenever they're using their long white cane.
Image shows man using long white cane to navigate his way across a sidewalk.
They have the right of way when they're crossing street. So the first long white cane is actually on exhibit at the Peoria Riverfront Museum.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What are some examples of how visually impaired individuals, how would that affect a student's day at school, Aiden?
Usually you would have someone help you or aid you as you're walking around. And they would like tell you if there's a place that you shouldn't go if you can't see very well. But you can use the cane still if you need to go upstairs. And when you do that, you kind of like grab it like this and you lift it up like that and rub it against the wall of each step.
Okay.
You kind of bop each step, right? Yeah. See, we're in the learning process of that right now.
How might someone with a visual impairment tool use technology to help them learn?
So yesterday I had a lesson with a teacher, or like a specific lady who helps with like people who have visual impairment.
Yeah.
And there's specific apps that can use your camera to read stuff to you.
Image shows an application on a phone asking which one is tomatoes, the one on your right, and it shows 2 cans, coconut milk, and tomatoes.
Or describe an area to you.
That makes things a lot easier, right? And so do you feel like you're really picking up on using the auditory, your ears, a lot more during this? Yeah, and that's something that you were already gifted at with your music background, right?
Yeah.
So now everything's like a little bit of music.
And Aiden is also, he's using a magnifier called the Clover Book in his classes. So it allows him to view papers at his desk, and then also has a distance arm so he can view the board and increase and turn and move it however he needs to.
Image shows Clover Book enhancing image of fractions.
Does that work well for you, Aiden?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it also has its OCR on it, so it will actually take a picture. And Aiden's been really good about using learning that skill, because it is kind of tricky when some of these pieces of technology have so many different options to take a picture of it, and then following the commands to press the keys to have it read aloud to him. So he can actually just plug in his headphones if someone gets him a paper copy, and he can just have it read aloud to him.
So that's pretty cool. Yes. So Aiden, if you ever need help in school or out in public, what is some way that somebody should be able to help you? What are things that you would need?
So if someone wants to like say hi to me in like an area where I'm known or well known, usually the best way for them to interact with me is to introduce themselves, because I have my eyes open like all the time, and the only eye I see I have red eye.
Okay.
The left eye is darker by quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
So them just coming up and saying, hi, I'm Mrs. Nels. I teach the broadcasting class. And then you kind of know where they're at, right?
yeah,
And know how then you can respond to them.
yeah.
Do you want people to help you? Do you want to do things on your own? What kind of process does that look like for you?
I should probably like begin to grow in doing stuff on my own.
Yeah.
But if I ever actually need help, I will usually I would look for a friend I know.
And you would ask for it.
Yeah.
So if you need help, you would ask for it, and people don't have to come up to you and just assume you, right? Yeah, because you can, you have these tools now that you can try to live a super independent existence, right?
Yeah.
That's perfect. What is the best way for students to offer help to any of our visually impaired students? What do you think as the educator?
So, and something that I would like people to learn here at Richwoods is human guide. So we do have students with visual impairments at this school. And just like Aiden shared, there's times that he's not going to want your help. And that's actually a really great thing. But say if you're in a really crowded hallway, or you're at an assembly and it gets a little busy, you know, Aiden or our other student could potentially ask for human guide. And Aiden, would you please share what human guide is?
So human guide is, rather than like holding someone's hand and walking the direction that you think they should go, is that in the past I've learned that usually you hold your elbow kind of like here, and then you like kind of let them know that you're gonna guide them by your elbow.
Image shows two people, one person acting as the guide. The other visually impaired person has a long white cane and is grabbing the guide just above their elbow.
And then you just walk the way you want to go. And then another thing about on guidance is that if an area is more tight and like there's lots of people within an area, if you can't like get to a very, it's not a very wide area, you could move your arm down, and then the person visually impaired can put their hand on your wrist, so you don't and you're not walking like 2 by 2 in a width kind of way.
Yeah, that's good to know. I don't know that people would necessarily think about that unless they're in that situation, right? These are things that I think are important to educate all of our classmates about. So what is it? Is there anything that's super important for us to tell our student body, our faculty and staff about being visually impaired or our visually impaired students? What's the most important thing that we can lead this interview with?
I'd say not assuming that everything a visually impaired person needs to do has to be helped or aided, because honestly, if anyone's visually impaired, they should really try to do some stuff on their own and get better at getting in him.
Is there anything that you guys noticed as the educators in that department of things that you wish students were more aware of, or faculty or staff that they knew more of?
Just to go off of what Aiden said, I think it is important that we are, as educators, trying to get them to be more independent and provide them those opportunities through technology. And sometimes we just tell people, like, sit on your hands.
Yeah,
Right? Like, just sit on your hands. They have the tools and they can do it. Allow them the opportunity to do it. I echo exactly what they both say. We say that often, sit on your hands. Just imagining if this were you, right? Or this was a family member of yours, you want those people to be as independent as possible. Take time to stop and think about how would you describe, just the simple things in your day. Even just buttoning your shirt. Stop and just think for a second. Close your eyes. What are the skills you're using to do those? Use your words to teach that to someone instead of doing it for them.
I am a big fan of just recognizing everyone's individuality, and that there are some disabilities that aren't necessarily we're able to see, and there's some that we are able to see. And just watching your journey, Aiden, has been incredible. From just the faculty here at the school, I have been cheering for you this whole time. You have.
Image shows Aiden and his father at Richwoods High School. The next image shows Aiden and his father after they got out of the hospital. And the last image shows Aiden celebrating with his cross-country coaches and family and friends.
Gone beyond expectations, I think, that your doctors had, that your mom has had for you. You have just done incredible things. So thank you for being you and showing us that perseverance and having that grit, that determination. That's really the most important skill, right? Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.